Welcome back. So what I've done is set up a virtual host and install a fresh new Laravel application. In the beginning of this part, I want to disclose that there will be no SSR in this video. This part is all about creating the React components and fitting them up in the UI. So if you are interested only in the configuration and setup of the SSR, you may skip this part. As you know, Laravel by default provides only view scaffolding, but as we're about to use React, we need to use the React preset for Laravel. So PHP artisan preset React. So the scaffolding has been generated, and so this is our package JSON. You can see there are all the necessary packages in here, though we don't need many of these. I'm gonna remove all the unnecessary jQuery. I don't need jQuery, Bootstrap, Axios. Okay, so let's install all of them. Alright, so I have successfully installed all the packages. Let's look at the static HTML. Let's see what are the components we have to make in React. So this is our container component, and these are the games component, and this container is repeated twice as it is a 4-column row structure. Okay, so let's get into the coding. Let's first pull all the images and CSS into our public folder. Okay, alright, here is our HTML file, and I'm not gonna make any new blade file. I'm gonna use the default welcome page for Laravel. Yes, let's remove all the unnecessary things. I don't need any of these stuffs. Great. Seems like we have to pull in this CSS. Okay, let's give them proper path. Okay, and okay, so this part is the header one. Let's restructure them a bit. What else we have? This is the entire page content is in here. Fine, let's give the main page wrapper. So this is going to be somewhere in here. Let's close it in, and I have to give a space for the React to take over the DOM. I think for the blade file we're done. Okay, so here is how it looks in the front end, just as expected, the header part only, and we'll create all the other components, the games components, in React. So let's go to the resources directory, asset.js, and here is one component by default by the React preset of Laravel. And you know what, I'm not gonna do this component now. There is many things I can just copy and paste to my components. I don't have to type them in. I'm very lazy. Let's create one. Let's name it games.js, and just as I said, copy. I don't need DOM here. Its name is games. I don't need this part, maybe not these things. So let's see our HTML. This is the part for individual games components, so let's place it here. And you must know that React supports class name instead of class. I'm not gonna give this style, but I have to put an end to this one. Okay, so all this data are gonna come from the props of this component, and to make this dynamic I'm gonna place some channel. So this may be the props. You know what, I think this is gonna be the props name, and instead of placing different props name for the image name, the title and description, why not we just create a single channel for the details and make it an object. So just like this, we'll send a single props named info and we'll feed the object containing the data like thumbnail, title and description. So let's try. We can put a title in here. This could be the original title and a JSX mustache here and description. I think we're done probably here. Good. Let's make one another, duplicating this one named games row. This is gonna be the container component which holds all the other children games components. So what's gonna be the structure of it? This one. Okay, first let's copy all it. Class name, and for the children components to come in here, we'll place a slot in this position. Props children. Great. And we need another component that's gonna be our main component which wraps everything up. So it's gonna be most like this one. We need the DOM and our ID is app, so change it accordingly, and the component should be main. Okay, what else? We are not exporting it because we don't need this component in any other one. Let's import all these components. Import games from this games component, and as well games row from the games row component, and this is gonna be the parent component here. And inside it we'll put our games component, which definitely should have the info props in it, and as we said, it's gonna be a object. So the thumbnail, basically I'm feeding some static info to check whether my markup is okay. Alright, seems we're done here. Let's okay, I'm missing something. Webpack, we have to put proper path. We are not compiling any SAS, so remove that. And this components is located in JS components and main JS. Let's see if we have our build ready. Public JS, main JS, very nice. I think we have to put the script somewhere in here. What am I doing? Okay. Alright, seems everything is fine. Let's see how it looks. Oh my god, I hope I haven't done much wrong. I think there is one single component, that's why it looks like that. Yeah, this component is fine and this is fine. I think repeating this component is gonna fix this full width structure. Okay, so now let's make this static info to a dynamic one. Alright, so I have prepared some dummy data. Here it is for our components. Let's put it to our web roots. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, so I'm not going to create any new controller, but definitely don't do this in your application. this is not at all a good idea. Put it a name as games. Let's see how it works. Great, it's an array of objects. So let's create a new state in our application in main.js here. I think we need a new constructor in here. Constructor props and create a state. Maybe games list. Okay, so we need array of objects, so initially we can make it an empty array, and somehow we have to hit the /games URI to make an AJAX request, and for that we need component did mount lifecycle, and let's make it a fetch request. The URL is /games then we'll get a promise response. So if the response status is not 200, then we need to send up some error message, maybe some log for now. Oops. Let's send the status code and we'll break our execution, and if the status code is 200, then let's return the result as JSON data, response.json. okay, and after that we'll get another promise, and this result is the JSON data. Actually we can change the state in here, so this set state games list is gonna be changed to the result. And here is one thing, inside the fetch, inside the promise, that this is different from our this version of React, so I actually can't explain it, but I think you actually got the idea. Const React, this is this, so the scope is a little different. If I make it this dot set state inside this promise, it's not going to work that way, so I have to make it that way. Anyway, let's see if we have a change state. I'll make a log, maybe, if everything is good, that result is fine, and maybe in here I'll just check if everything is fine, and we can actually catch some error if something bad happens. Okay, alright, let's see what actually happens, what we get in our network request as well as in console. Yeah, 5. We got a 200 response. Let's see the console. Great, we are getting all the data we need. Very nice, just as expected. Perfectly. So now what we have to do is just with respect to the state, we have to change all this information to a dynamic one. We'll map through the state contents and make this 4 column in a row structure. And for that we have to deal with some loops inside loops, I think. Let's make it inside our render method. I'm gonna create a new what I need, maybe an object which is gonna be this info, the data of the component, I mean the prop of the component, and I think we have to put some key, and for that I have already given some ID in my data, so it's not gonna be much difficult for us. We just can make it like game.id, simple. And I think this part is over. But what this data is gonna return to the games data is all the games. That means we have all the 8 data in here. All the 8 games is gonna be returned all at once, but we need a 4 column structure, that is a games row, and inside it 4 games component, and then this games row component ends, and once again it repeats. So for that we have to slice this this array in a way, and I'm gonna do it by reduce, array reduce, and which takes a function. This is the total number of results is the first parameter, and then the current element, then the current index. And next what to do is make a chunk, that is if it is a multiple of 4. Okay, so let's pick one data as row size, maybe row size is 4. So if it's a multiple of our row size, then what we're gonna do is into our previous result we're gonna push a blank array. So actually what we're making is a multi-dimensional array. And what else in that array, I have to give all the index correctly. The results length, all the length -1, because it's gonna be started from 1, so 1 to 3, that means out of 0 1 2 etc. So we'll push the current element inside it. Alright, and we'll return the array. So what this gonna result is something like a total array, and inside it many different arrays containing the elements, you know, like that. So this is what we are getting. Okay, but one thing is missing, is that we have to associate all the data to an array so that we can again restructure it, as we have to wrap all the elements, I mean all the 4 elements group to our games row component. So we'll put a blank array in here, then I'm gonna again map it dot map result, maybe return the game server component with the result that we have in here. And as this is also gonna be repeated, we need some kind of key, but actually I don't have anything here, so let's make the index. I think index is not gonna cause any problem. Index, I think we're done. Am I getting all the data to a variable? Okay, so games data now contains the whole thing, so we can replace it by this, and I think we have to put a fragment. So let's get a fragment. Fragment is React fragment with the blank fragment component. I'm gonna wrap all the contents, all the JSX contents. I hope everything works perfectly. Let's see. Okay, I think the images path are not correct, and oh my god. Alright, I think I have forgot to give the mustache. That's true. I don't know why it doesn't show me some kind of error. Anyway, what else? The images path. So let's change the images path to images slash okay, I think it's perfect now. Great, all our components are on its place. Now just let's see if we have any kind of React error. No error. This is our response from the Ajax. I think we don't need it. All set. So that's it. You can see there is actually no server rendered string in here. It's totally virtual. Okay, so that's it for this part. In the next video we'll see how we can set up all the stuffs related to server-side rendering. Thank you for watching.